Hello everyone and welcome to my channel JD Tech Academy. So in today's video, I will let you know about the Windows operating system fundamentals because Windows operating system is the most commonly used operating system in almost every organization today. So have you ever wondered what happens behind the scenes when you turn on your computer, open an application inside it, or maybe just connect to the internet? The answer lies in the operating system. In today's video, we'll explore the fundamentals of the Windows operating system, understand its different editions, compare Windows Client and Windows Server, and learn how Windows powers modern IT infrastructure. So welcome to Module 1 of our Windows Operating System Fundamental series. In this lesson, we'll cover what an operating system is, the types of operating systems available today, Windows Client versus Windows Server, Windows editions, and the role of Windows in IT infrastructure. We'll also perform a practical exercise to identify your Windows version and edition. So let's start with the most basic question. What is an operating system? So let's start with the most basic question. What is an operating system? An operating system, often called an OS, is system software that manages computer hardware and software resources. It acts as a bridge between the user and the computer. This is what we have heard since the childhood and college, right? And this is true. Like without an operating system, you cannot interact with your computer. So you won't be able to run any application or do some basic tasks like accessing a file or using your device like printer or even interact uh, basically with your computer. You cannot do anything without an operating system. So what are the key responsibilities of an operating system? Maybe some of them are managing memory, managing the processes running inside it, handling the input and output devices, managing the storage, providing security to all of your data, running applications. So let's move on to the second section where it says types of operating systems, right? You can see on your screen there are different types of operating system that I have mentioned already. So the first one is the desktop operating system. These are the operating system that is used in your desktop or laptop. Okay, so these are the client devices. So that may not only be Windows, it might be a Macintosh machine running Mac OS, or it might be a Linux server, a Linux desktop edition. Yeah. Second is the server operating system. So there might be a Windows server or maybe a Linux server as well. So these are designed specifically to manage the resources in your network and provide different kinds of services to your users, right? So maybe one of them is authentication uh, using Active Directory. That is uh, that is a part I will tell you later in the upcoming videos. So our third operating system is the mobile operating system that we use in our day-to-day lives, right? Some people might be using devices with Android, and some people might be using the Apple devices, which include iOS operating systems. And the last one is the embedded OS. Embedded OS runs on specific devices, right? Like the ATMs, it might be your smart TVs, the Wi-Fi router in your home has a different OS too. Yeah, and different kinds of industrial controllers, right? So each system, I mean, the operating system is optimized for its specific use case. So you cannot use a mobile operating system in your laptop. You cannot use a desktop operating system in an embedded device. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so now let's move on to the third section where I mentioned Windows Client versus Windows Server. So let's compare these two. So Windows Client is designed for end users. Its primary purpose is to run applications, provide a graphical interface to the user, and support daily productivity tasks like maybe editing a Microsoft Word document, maybe editing a Excel document. So, what are the client operating systems? The most popular being Windows 10 and Windows 11. You have already heard about it, right? And you might be using them in your device as well. Now, the second one is Windows Server, which is designed to manage the resources in your environment. I've already told this earlier as well. So, in a Windows Server, there might be different roles that is configured for the server to perform. So basic server roles will be like the Active Directory, maybe the file services, there is DNS, then DHCP, and virtualization. So each of the server roles perform different tasks. Like the Active Directory, which provides a login authentication for any user in your environment. Like uh, just for example, you can take if you have an email ID, right? So we'll take a dummy name like john.doe at microsoft.com or maybe john.doe at xyz.com. So that is when the user is using this account in his laptop and provides his password. It goes to the Active Directory in the Windows Server. It authenticates whether this user is there and this is the correct password. Then lets you log in into your laptop, right? If the laptop is in the domain inside your uh, environment, inside your company, right? So you might have heard about different types of Windows Server editions are there, like Windows Server 2019, Windows Server 2022, the latest being the 25. Now, let's move on to Windows editions. So we'll see what are the editions. You can see in the screen. The first one is Windows Home. It is designed for personal and home users, right? So it might be there in your personal device, which you use in home, but in the device that is being provided to you by your company might be using Windows Professional, which I have mentioned on the second one, right? So that has different additional features, right? So Windows Professional is used in business environments. Okay, so that might be having additional features like BitLocker, maybe remote desktop, and group policy management. The last one is the Windows Enterprise one. So it is designed for larger organizations. So it has some capabilities like enhanced security. Maybe second one is device management, which is like this device can be any device with Windows Enterprise can be managed through on-premises servers or maybe from device management tools like Microsoft Intune. It can be eligible for enterprise deployment features as well, like pushing applications from your server or maybe pushing some settings from your servers from your group policy server, right? So what is the role of Windows in this in IT infrastructure? So by this time you must have realized that Windows is powering the end user devices as well as the server environment in IT environment, right? So it powers basically everything like desktop computers, laptops, servers, virtual machines. Even some of the applications, the enterprise applications are running on Windows 11, right? So this has various advantages like productivity. It has additional security like Windows Defender and BitLocker. It supports some various networking technologies and communication services. It is easy to manage using centralized administration like Active Directory, group policy, Microsoft Intune. You can manage through all of this the Windows devices, right? So for many organizations, Windows forms the foundation of their IT infrastructure. Yeah. Now let's do a practical exercise to identify the Windows version and the edition. Okay, so you can see, you can follow this on your device as well while I'm doing. Okay, let's do this. I'll just use it. Click on the start button and select the settings. I just go here, click on start button, go to settings, and then click on the second button, system, right? You can scroll down and select about. Once you click about, you'll be able to see everything related to your computer or laptop. So it shows my processor, the RAM installed, the amount of graphics card memory and storage, and at the bottom you can see the Windows info. Right? It says the edition is Windows 11 Pro. The version is 25H2. OS build is 26200.8457. So these are the basic details you will get if you go to settings, and from there you can go to system to check it. There is an alternative way to check this. Press the Windows plus R key on your keyboard. So I had already typed this earlier, so you can also type WINVER, which is short for Windows version. So if you hit enter, you'll get the information related to your Windows. So the edition says Windows 11 Pro and the version is 25H2. The OS build being 26200.8457, which is the same as mentioned here. So these are the basic things in a Windows server or maybe Windows environment. Not only Windows Server, Windows Desktop as well as Windows environment. So this these are some of the basics to understand the Windows operating system. In the upcoming videos, I will tell you about the architecture of Windows, and gradually we'll do some practicals as well to understand how do you install the operating system, and uh, what are the options there you get while installing any Windows edition, right? So if in the next video we'll deep dive into Windows architecture basics. There will I'll let you know what is a kernel, what are the system processes, services, registry, and file system. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next lesson in this Windows fundamental series. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.